All right, hello everyone, and good morning. Peace of Christ to all of you. I just saw a video sent to me by one of you, and it was a guy. His name is Muhammad Hijab. If you remember this guy, he is one of those who've been invited by the Titan TV to debate me, and he escaped. He ran away. Uh, in the Titan TV, he mentioned, I guess, three names or four names. He mentioned Muhammad Hijab, Adnan Rashid, uh, and I think Ali Dawa, something like that. However, this is not really what important. For me, all of them, they are like, except Adnan Rashid, he is educated. The rest is just a bunch of potatoes trying to make themselves like they are the one who knows Islam. However, the video sent to me, it was an interview in the D show for the guy who they call him Muhammad Hijab. In case you do not know how he looked like, you can click at the video underneath. There is an info for the whole interview with the Dean show. All right. I'm not going to play the video, so Muslims don't play the game of copyright. And in this, in the beginning of this video, they quote this guy saying that everything in Islam is a copy of the Jews from A to Z. Another way he said, actually, everything in Islam, you can find it in the Judaism from A to Z. Now, is that really proving Islam to be true or proving Islam to be a false cult? Let us examine how Muhammad is copying from the Jews. Is he copying from his God, which is the teaching of his God, or it is Muhammad is copying the Jews? Always when Muslims they speak about their God and their prophet, they try to present him to us that he is a person who received a message from God. And when we ask them what is the proof of that, they have no proof. Even the Quran have no proof. Even the Quran said to Muhammad, if you don't believe, go and ask the Christians and the Jews. Let's see together examples of how Muhammad established his religion. All of us will remember that the Muslims they pray 5 times a day, but where, according to Muhammad, where he get this prayer from? As I understand, I believe the more accurate that Muhammad he get that from the Sabiya, but yet Muhammad he claimed that he took that from the Jews. How we get this answer? Let us go and see together where we can find this. This is a hadith can be found in many all the hadith we will show you in front of us are hadith that can be found in in many places in Islamic resource, and none of them is a weak hadith, not even one. All the hadith I will show you, I put them already ready so we don't waste time, so we can make the video shorter. The Messenger of Allah said, Allah the Mighty, etc. Muhammad supposedly he went to the 7th heaven in the top of a flying mule, which is a fiction story, stupid story. Who in the world want to believe in that? And you notice Muhammad, when in his way to the 7th heaven, he never described anything like he saw the space is empty. I mean, he's talking about a mule flying, but he's flying in the earth. So Allah he gave him 50 prayer. Allah gave him how many? 50. Muhammad continues saying that when he was going down in the heaven, he met with Moses. First of all, Islam believe, and I challenge any Muslim to tell me this is not true, that all the prophets are still dead until now, and the first one to be resurrected is Muhammad. So how Muhammad he met Moses? How he met him? However, this is not really our important topic here. According to Muhammad, Allah gave Muhammad 50 prayer as you see in front of you. However, Moses he met him in the way, and he said to him, what Allah gave you? Tell me. He said, well, I enjoyed 50 prayer. Musa said to him, go back to your Lord the Mighty and ask him and tell him that your nation cannot do that. Muhammad, he went back to Allah and he told Allah to reduce the prayer as Moses advised him. Now you notice here the Muslims don't claim that Muhammad he spoke to Allah, but how this communication happened nobody knows. According to Muslims, nowhere Muhammad he spoke even once to Allah, but how he told him, how Allah he told him, we do not know. It's a mystery, but they agree, all of them, that Muhammad never spoke to Allah, never met Allah, never saw Allah. Musa told him after he came back, he said to him, well, what happened? He told him, well, he made it for me, he gave me a discount. And what the discount? So he kept going backward, forward, like 50, 45, 40, 30, 35, 25, 10, and then finally Allah he made them 5 prayer. Muhammad here is saying that the impact or the prayer numbers according to Islam is something was by the advice of Moses. So he just admitting that he took that from the Jews. Otherwise, why Moses? Why did not say Isa? Why he did not say, you remember, according to Muhammad, he said that there is no prophet between me and the Isa, which is wrong, because the Quran proved Muhammad to be a liar, because Muhammad himself, he mentioned that there's 3 messengers Allah he sent, and those are the messengers of Isa, and one of them is Paul, which in Arabic we call him Paulos. And the Muslim, they keep calling Paulos names, but all Islamic scholars, they agree that the 3rd prophet who was sent by Isa is Paulos, and that proven that Isa cannot be, as Muslims claim, he's a prophet, which is Jesus supposedly. He must be God, for no one can make a prophet save God. So how Jesus can send somebody and say to him, you are my prophet and you are my messenger to that nation? So here we will see, and this is a Sahih hadith, that this story is coming from authentic source, Muhammad admitting that he got his 5 prayer from the Jews. It was Moses' idea, and Moses is the one who approved the 5 prayer. Muhammad, he go backward, forward, backward, forward, and he is the one, Moses is the one who came with the idea of final agreement is 5. It was a Jewish thing. If we go to different hadith, we will find the following. I hate this website. They have this thing here keep appearing in our way. If we go in this hadith here, we will find this. There is something the Muslims believe in. It's called the punishment of the grave. A Jewish woman entered into me and said the treatment of the grave is because of a urine. Who is the one who's saying that? A Jewish woman. I said, who? Aisha. Remember, the one who's talking here is Aisha. Aisha, she said, you are lying. Aisha should not believe in this stupid thing. This is cannot be true. I mean, you see, Aisha, maybe she is a kid, but she is not stupid. She said to her, you are lying. What is that? I mean, this is stupid. She said, no, it is true. We cut our skin and clothed because of it. I want you to remember this, because this is going to lead us to different hadith and different story Muhammad believe in. Because of it, the Messenger of Allah went out to pray, and our voice became loud, which means they are fighting over it. He said, what is this? So I told him what this woman she said. He said, she spoke the truth. Muhammad, he agreed with the Jewish woman, but this is not the important really in this story, because until now there's no proof that Muhammad he learned that from the Jew. But if you go a little bit in the story, you will see Aisha saying, after that I never saw the prophet praying, but he say, I seek refuge from the punishment in every prayer. Never offer a prayer without saying, I seek refuge from the punishment of the grave. As you see it. Here you notice that Aisha, the wife of Muhammad, who witnessed Muhammad praying, anytime he prays, supposedly, she is his wife. She is a person who stay with him in the house. So there's nothing hiding from her. She never heard Muhammad saying that statement about seeking refuge from the punishment of the grave. How come today it was the first day Muhammad he starts saying that prayer, that I seek refuge from the punishment of the grave? Because Muhammad he heard the Jewish women, and since then he never stopped saying that. Before he never mentioned it. If it is so important to mention in the end of every prayer, as you see, he never pray without saying it. But this is after the Jewish woman she came. If it is so important that we need to say it every time we pray, how come Muhammad never mentioned it? Because simply he is copying from A to Z from somebody else, in this case from the Jews. As they said in the Deen show. I apologize, my voice is tired. So he copied everything, nothing he have. The only verses Muhammad he have or teaching is about his sexuality. Like Allah, he gave him an order to sleep with all women. Allah gave him order that a woman she can give herself. Allah gave him order to give money. This is his own fabrication. The rest is copying from somebody. Some from the Christians, some from the Sabia, some from the Jews, everything. And in the Deen show, they prove that to us. They say from A to Z, Islam is copying from the Jews. Now here, we mentioned in the beginning, we said, if you remember, that the story in front of us, that the Jewish woman, she said that the punishment of the grave is from the urine. From the urine. Do you see it? So here the Jewish woman, she mentioned two things. She mentioned the punishment of the grave, which Muhammad never spoke of before. And the Jewish women, she mentioned that the reason for the punishment of the grave is the urine. I mean, this is silly and stupid. Who in the world want to believe in this garbage? And Aisha, when the Jewish woman, she said that, she said to her, you are lying, which means Aisha, she never heard both things. About lying, about urine will cause punishment of the grave and the punishment of the grave. And then you will find right away after that Muhammad, he starts spreading the news that urine will cause a punishment in the grave. Muhammad said urination is the main cause of the punishment of the grave. It's authentic. I mean, how you can explain that to me? Except that Muhammad is nothing but a thief. He heard the Jews just a second ago. He liked the idea. He adopted the idea, and now it became of his religion. This man, whatever the Jews they say, he take them for granted because he knew that those people knows about God better than him. He's a fake man. But this woman, she is just saying stupid things. The Jews, they have a lot of stupid things coming from fictions and legends and etc. Like Sulaiman spoke to the ant as an example in the Quran. Tons of stories in the Quran is coming from the legend of the Jews. So this is, I mean, we are just giving you examples. The ring of Sulaiman, the flying carpet of Sulaiman, the ant speaking to Sulaiman, the genie of Sulaiman, the flying horse of Sulaiman, all those stuff in the Quran is coming from the Jews. And here Muhammad, he adopted the story of the urine, and now he is teaching wherever he go that urine is the reason for punishment of the grave. How in the world somebody can say such a thing? You see, when you are a fake prophet and you copy a stupid lie, that will get you busted. Muhammad, when he got copying the Jews, saying what she said, this naive women who believe in fairy tale stories, if this story is true, as Muslims they say, Muhammad, he got himself busted and he exposed himself. How you are a messenger of God and you believe in such a garbage story? A man of God will not believe in such a stupid thing. The story of Ad-Dajjal, Muhammad he got it from the Christians, the Antichrist. The story of the seven sleepers, Muhammad he got it from the Christians. This is a fiction story. The seven sleepers, you can search it in the internet. The seven sleepers is very famous story written by a Christian bishop from Syria. It's just to encourage the Christians who they are under discrimination that don't worry, we will be victorious. It's a fiction story. Muhammad he copied the story, he put it in the Quran, and he claimed that Allah is the one is speaking about those youth Christians. So Muhammad, because he's a false prophet, he copy whatever come his way. It doesn't matter what is in the way, Muhammad he show it. The story of Sulaiman, the story of Luqman, the story of Moses going in the fountain of youth, the story of Al-Khidr who drank from the fountain of youth and he will never die. This is why he always green. Actually, Al-Khidr mean Mr. Green. Why he is Mr. Green? Because he drank from the fountain of youth. When Muhammad he get those stories, all of them they are copy. If you go and read the story of the seven sleepers, you will see how much similar, except that Muhammad and the Muslims, they thought the word kali'ahum is kalbahum. So the Quran says, and they have a dog with them. The fact it says kali'ahum, not kalbahum. Even in many Islamic interpretation, they say it is not kalbahum, but there is an error in the scribe, which means when they wrote the Quran, instead of writing kali'ahum as it is in the Christian story, they said kalbahum, because all of us we knew that in Islam the dog is dirty. So what Allah saying, that a dog with those Christians? It was an angel who is called kali'ahum, which means their provider. If you go, just to give you more examples of Muhammad copying from the Jews and copying from fairy tales around him, not necessarily just the Jews, everybody. If you go here, let us see. Look at this story. Look at this story and the madness and the stupidity of this false prophet. Muhammad, remember, he claimed to be a prophet. How a prophet of God he would say such a thing? This is a strong hadith. This is not a shish kebab week. This is Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 3400, and I can find you the same stories in many books. You will see here speaking about a guy, his name is Al-Khidr, who drank from the fountain of youth, and this man who Allah sent Moses to him to learn from him wisdom. And you will see right away how the name of Moses appear in the story. Moses thought that he is the most person who knows about what? About the teaching of Allah. A person asked him, are you the most knowledgeable? He said yes. Allah said to Moses, no, you are not the most learned. You are not. Moses, he said, who is more knowledgeable than me? He said, our slave, the Khidr, is more learned than you. Moses, he said, how I can meet him? And then the story continue, and you will see a very funny, stupid story about Moses. Allah told him to take a fish with him, as the Quran story says. And when you lose the fish, because the fish will come back to life. Why the fish will come back to life? Because the fish will drink from the fountain of youth and come back to life. Because this is the fountain. Whoever drank from it, he come back to life. You see the story? And then Moses, the fish escape and run in the water, and the fish, when it goes in the water, it make the water like a rock. So they can trace and walk in the top of the water. Imagine Moses is walking in the top of the water. And then when they arrive in the middle of the ocean, they found a guy, his name is Al-Khidr. He is in the middle of the ocean. just staying there. You see, it says they follow the traces of the fish in the ocean. Have you ever heard of somebody following a trace of a fish in the ocean? How in the world we can follow a trace of a fish in the ocean? Why? Because the ocean turned like a rock, solid rock, wherever the fish go. So they just walk. They did not even take a boat. They were walking in the ocean. All those stories Muhammad is copying from people around him, mixed with the legend of the Jews. The story of Al-Khidr is a story the Jews they learned when they were captured in Iraq by the Assyrian. In Iraq and in the Persia, there is a very well-known story about a guy, his name Gilgamesh, and about a guy who his name is Al-Khidr, who searched for, searching for life and fountain of life. And this story is exist in many cultures. Actually, the movie, which is exists today, the Caribbean, the part of the Caribbean, you will see there they are speaking about the fountain of youth. This is how much this story spread all over. The same as the flying horse of Suleiman. If you remember, when Muhammad he entered upon Aisha and he said to her, what is that? She was playing with dolls. He said to her, what is that? And he saw between the dolls, he saw a horse have two wings. Okay, let us see. Here we go. Muhammad he said to Aisha when she was playing with her dolls, the prophet who married a child, he moved the curtain and he said, what is this? She said, she did not say actually my doll, she said banati, which means my daughter. Among them he saw a horse with wings made of rags. This is what Muhammad started teaching the Muslims. Look what this happened here. Aisha is a child. Aisha is a child. And Muhammad, Aisha here is, by the way, she is at the age of 14, not exactly like a little baby as before when he married her. So now she is getting into the youth age. She's 14. And ask, what is this I see among them? She replied, a horse. He said, what is that it has on it? She replied, two wings. Muhammad, he said, and here read carefully with me what happened here. This is extremely important. He said to her, what is that? What is that in there? Like, okay, it's a horse. She said, yes, horse. What is that? She said, a horse with wings. He said, a horse with two wings? Muhammad himself, he is wondering what? She replied, haven't you heard that Solomon had a horses with wings? And Muhammad, in the moment, he laughed until his teeth came out. He found it funny and stupid, but later Muhammad he adopted the story. And he told the story. And this is where he learned the story from a child. The child Aisha, she learned from the Jews that Suleiman, he have, obviously she play with the Jewish children. That Suleiman, he have a flying horse, have wings. He copied the story. He told the story. He spread the story. That's what Islam is about. One more thing before we finish this video, so you can download it. Once Muhammad he was praying in the funeral, and we can show you verses from the Quran, by the way, all prove what we're saying. Muhammad was praying in a funeral. Read carefully with me. The Messenger of Allah used to pray, stand up in a funeral until the corpse is buried. A learned Jews, what happened here? A learned Jews, which mean a rabbi, once passed by him and said, This is how we do it. The Prophet sat down and said, act differently from them. And this is a very clear proof that Muhammad is a false prophet. If the prayer of Islam is coming from Allah, why in the world Muhammad he will change it in a second just because a Jew he said to him, this is how we do it? Do you understand? If I am a prophet of God and now I'm teaching you how to pray, where Muhammad is getting how to pray? Supposedly the Muslims they say that Jibreel he taught him. Okay, so Jibreel taught him that he should stand in the prayer when he pray in the funeral. A Jewish is walking by and he just said this is how we do it. So what the problem with Muhammad? Why he is asking the Muslims, ordering them to act differently, and he sat down immediately? Read carefully here. The Messenger of Allah used to stand up during the funeral prayer. Used, which means all the time, for a long time. He never changed it. Enter a Jewish guy, he said to him, this is how we do it. How you are claiming that you are a person, everything you do is coming from Allah, even the prayer is inspiration from Allah. How to put your hand is everything the Muslim do is supposedly is Allah taught Muhammad through the angel Jibreel how to do it, and now you are changing the prayer for the sake of a Jew saying this is how we do it. So yes, we agree that Muhammad is a person as a fraud. He copy from others. Nothing of Islam is his own. The Kaaba is the Arab pagan, his parents. They kiss the black stone before him. They go between As-Safa and Al-Marwa. Muhammad he said when his followers they thought he is going to demolish As-Safa and Al-Marwa, he said to them, no, As-Safa and Al-Marwa is from the ritual of Allah. Why the Safa and Marwa from the ritual of Allah? How is that? This is the ritual of the pagans. Muhammad he have to make a verse about it to be sure that the Muslims they will follow the tradition of the Arab pagans, as we see in chapter 2 verse 158. If you read the interpretation, you will see that they say to him, why we hate to do As-Safa and Marwa. They don't want to do it. But Muhammad forced them to do it, because the whole point he want to say to the Arab, I am not against you as a pagan. Here we go. You like the Kaaba, I like the Kaaba. You kiss the black stone, I kiss the black stone. You go to As-Safa and Marwa, I go to the Safa and Marwa. And not only that, you know what? I am going to make it as a part of the ritual of Allah. But this was the shrine of the pagans. The same as the Kaaba was the shrine of the pagans. The same as the black stone was the black stone of the pagans. Islam is nothing, my friend, except a copy. Even the word Islam is coming from the guy who his name is Muslim, who the Muslim call him Musaylama to make fun of him. The word Ar-Rahman, Muhammad he copied from that guy. This guy he claimed to be Rahman, and his God is Rahman. He is Ar-Rahman and his God is Rahman. Muhammad he never said the word Rahman until he received a letter from this guy saying in the name of Ar-Rahman. So Muhammad right away he liked the name and he added to his book, to his Quran. And then he said, when the Arab they said to him, who's Ar-Rahman? Who's Ar-Rahman? He never mentioned the word Rahman before. Never. What happened today? So the Arab they said to him, so Muhammad, do you have a new God? We thought you worship Allah, and now you are saying Ar-Rahman. Who is Ar-Rahman? Is that Rahman al-Yamama? Even they mentioned to him that this is the Rahman of al-Yamama. The only Rahman we know is the guy who his name is Musaylama. The Muslim they call him Musaylama Muslim, and he is Rahman al-Yamama. So look what Muhammad he said to them as an answer in the Quran, chapter 17 verse 110. He said, say, call upon Allah, which means I name him Allah, or I call him Ar-Rahman, by whatever name you call upon him, it doesn't matter. All the beautiful names belong to Allah. He liked the name. But this is a problem here, because this is the chapter is almost more the half of the Quran Muhammad received already. So Muhammad received half of the Quran, and yet he never mentioned the word Rahman. So why the Muslims they have from the beginning of the Quran in every chapter Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim? That means this is something added later, because as you see, this is the first time Muhammad calling Ar-Rahman after he named, or he received, sorry, a letter from this guy who is named Muslim. He copied it, he liked it, he added, and he said, look, all the good names are belong to Allah. This is not the name of his God, but he liked it. All good names. Why he is saying this? Why Muhammad is saying this? Because the Arab, they said to him, but this is the name of the God of that guy. Do you worship his God now? And Muhammad is an enemy to him. Their competition about who is the prophet. That guy, he claimed to be a prophet, and Muhammad claimed to be a prophet. And suddenly Muhammad is naming his God as Rahman. So thank you, the Deen Show, for proving to us that Islam is a stupid religion, cult. Everything there is a copy. Shaitan wrap himself around the penis of the man. Even the versions in the heaven, it is coming from the Persian stories. He learned it from Salman al-Farisi. The bridge over the heaven, the flying horse of Suleiman, the ring of Suleiman, the talking ants, the 7 sleepers, the punishment of the grave, the 50 prayer, the 5 prayer, the fast of Ramadan, which he took from the Sabi, and everything, even Ashura. Where is Ashura from? Where is Ashura? Why Muhammad was used to fast Ashura? You know, why you fast Ashura? If you go and see the story of Ashura, you will see Muhammad, he was just copying for the sake of copying, and he is not ashamed of it. Let us see. Read carefully. Uh, I want to show you where Muhammad he got that from the Jews. And Muhammad he claimed that if you fast the day of Ashura, it is going to forgive all the sin of the last year. You know? Let us see. In different hadith, they say that Ashura, it was a pagan fasting. Read it, like here. Ashura was the day that the Quraysh used to fast during the Jahiliyyah. So if this is a fasting of Ashura for the pagans, why Muhammad was fasting it? And why he ordered the Muslims to fast it? One hadith, it says that this is the day of the Jahiliyyah, which means the Arab before Islam, pre-Islamic era. And different hadith says that this was a day for the Jews. Even Ashura is a copy. Whatever story you want to believe in, Muslims, you believe in this hadith where it says that he was copying from Quraysh, which is a pagan tribe. I mean, why Muhammad is taking the fasting of Quraysh, and they are pagans? They are fasting for what? According to which teaching? Hmm? Everything in this religion is a false religion. Everything. He have nothing of his own. I hope we cover the topic. Please feel free to download the video, share it with your friends, and I hope tomorrow we will have a live podcast. God is willing, if I can. And until I see you then, may the Lord bless you and take care of you all. Christ is Lord. Islam is false, and amen to that. See you soon. And don't forget, if you like to learn more about Islam, you can go and search in Amazon.com. Just type my name, Christian Prince, and you will find list of my books if you are interested to learn and get handy reference in your hands. Thank you, and God bless.